So here's where we're at with the manufactured home saga. I know I told you all in my previous video, and a lot of you were really happy to hear that we were ruling out Clayton Homes as one of our manufactured home companies that we were looking into. However, we have since kind of backtracked on that a little bit. Don't freak out. Here's why. So I ended up joining this Facebook group. I'm going to put it here on the screen. You can see it has a ton of members in there. And I genuinely joined this group thinking that I was going to read all of these Clayton home horror stories and it was going to solidify my decision not to go with Clayton Homes. Well, actually, what I'm coming to learn after reading and scrolling through this group like day in and day out, this whole process has just completely consumed my brain. Like, I feel like unless you've been in this situation shopping for a manufactured home, you really just don't know how consuming it is. But anyways, scrolling through this group, I'm actually coming to learn that it's not so much Clayton Homes that's the problem. It really comes down to the plant, to the factory that the home is actually built at. So this is the crazy thing too, because like, I didn't know this, but you have your dealerships, right? Where they're selling you the home, but the home itself is being built at a factory, and there are only certain factories around the United States. It's not in every single state. They're kind of like regional. Even if you live in Kentucky, for example, and you're buying your home in Kentucky and your dealership is in Kentucky, the home that you're choosing might actually be being built in the Tennessee factory, if that makes sense. It all depends on the model that you go with and the series and blah, blah, blah. And so what I'm finding is that some factories are better than others. And you can go right on the Better Business Bureau website and actually read. I'm not talking about the dealerships. This is where it gets confusing. I'm talking about the actual factory itself, reading through the reviews of that factory. So even if you have like the worst dealership ever, but your home is being built in a pretty legit factory with good reviews, they build strong houses, not a bunch of like construction errors, things like that, you could still end up having a really good experience even if you went through a not so good dealership. Another thing about this Facebook group is that actually scrolling through all of the stories, there are actually a lot more positive experiences with Clayton Homes, again, depending on the factory and depending on the dealership, than there are negative. So I know here on TikTok and social media, it's nothing but horror story after horror story after horror story, but I'm telling you, these are just people in this Facebook group who are just posting their own personal experiences and helping other people out in the shopping process. Yeah. So next weekend, we are actually going up to our property in North Carolina, and we are going to be walking through these homes. And I'm super excited. I'm going to take you all along for the ride. I'm going to document it all, show you the insides of the houses, show you the sales agreements, everything. We also did just put in our pre-approval yesterday to try and get pre-approved, and we are trying to go with a VA loan. I'm a veteran, and I really want to use my VA loan. We should be hearing back about that come Monday. So yes, we are considering some Clayton homes. There's one called the Freedom Farmhouse that I am just absolutely obsessed with. It's made in one of those good reputable factories, but we still really, really love our sales guy through Champion Homes. And even though I don't really care for the Champion Homes as much, like aesthetically, that is one thing that I like about Clayton. I just love our sales guy so much with Champion that I just trust him and I feel like I want to go with him. But either way, I'll be taking you all along for the ride. So stay tuned. That'll be next week, and I'll be posting like tons and tons of walkthrough videos, everything that we're going through right now. So if you've got questions, drop them in the comments. I will answer them to the best of my ability. I will show you receipts, screenshots of quotes and stuff that I've been getting recently, even without the pre-approval. Because I really just want this to be like a transparent process so that other people going through this can not be as confused and overwhelmed as we are.